quick discussion about removing this lower bumper diffuser portion without removing the actual bumper panel itself, the bumper cover. So it is doable without removing the cover, because in order to remove the cover, you have to take the stupid lights out, open the trunk, take all that stuff out, and get down to a bunch of different access clips and stuff like that, mess with the fender liners and everything. So it is doable with a little creativity and crafty. Underneath here, now I understand I'm not under the car, but you have to run with it. There is a screw right here and right here. There's two of them. They're Phillips head screws. You can see from the back of the car, they're just beyond the little hump in the center, right next to your mufflers. They'll be right here. Now to get to them, there's this bumper. This is your structural bumper. It's somewhat in the way. So in order to get to them, you'll have to be on a hard angle here. If you use a somewhat fine flathead or a skinny Phillips head. So, for instance, these two Phillips heads, in here, you can see the one on the right skinnier than the one on the left. So if you use a skinnier tipped one, you can get on it on that hard angle so that you can twist it. See if I can find it here. So this is the screw. There's two of them. You can see if you're in on it like this, straight, obviously it works well, locks in. But we're going to be on it on an angle like this, and it skips. So you can try it with a Phillips first. If the Phillips does not work, you can take a flathead. I used a skinny flathead like this, because even if the screw is on an angle, you can see you can still lock into it. That way you can actually turn it. So once you take the screw out, I have not put the screw back in. I'm sure it's possible. I also am pretty sure you don't really need the damn screw, because that teeny tiny little screw is not going to be the end all of what holds this bumper on, since there's about 800 clips that go around this. So, first step, crawl underneath the car, take out a pop clip here, there's one here, there's one here, so there's three in the middle. And then there might be another one on these ones, I can't recall. Again, we're not up there. You can see the little clips. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. There might be one here. So just remove every one of those that you can find. They're the ones that you put a flathead in, pull it, it snaps in half, and you buy a new one. There's one over here. There might be two in this location for yours. There was only one for mine, but on the other side, there was two of them. I don't know what the difference is, but it doesn't matter. They hook into this little bumper flare support thing. So once you remove those, there's these little rivets right here. It's this little rivet thing. It ties in. See here. It ties into this bumper. So this is the actual physical bumper that's on the car. You cannot pop any of these clips out until this is taken out. So usually this is in here like that. As you can see, in order to pull clips out, we need to pull this black piece towards the camera. But you can't pull it towards the camera if it's behind this, because it's locked in behind the car. So you need to take that. You can put a screwdriver back here between the black plastic and this and pop it out. Take your time, go easy with it. It'll slowly pull out. You don't want to obviously damage that, but it'd be pretty hard, and it's in a spot you can't see. But pop the rivet out. You can drill it out if you so wish to do so. Once that's out, take this little plastic thing, bend it up and around so that it comes out. It'll be a little hard. It'll make sense when you do it. But once you get this stupid plastic tab thing out, you can start doing these clips. Now, you can see here the clips have this little raised area. That raised area is meant to keep this tab and its little lock. Let's see. its lock up. So it goes up and it locks onto this. Take your thumb or a screwdriver or whatever you want to use. A screwdriver tends to pinch it, it would seem. But while pushing out on this piece with one hand, push these tabs down. Just wiggle them back and forth with a little out pressure and it'll pop right out. Then work your way back. There's another one and another one. These first couple are kind of a pain in the ass because you've got this structural little fiberglass reinforced plastic piece that you have to reach around because it'll be tight like this next to it. But reach back there and again, just push down on that tab and push out. You can be a little rough on it on the outward. Just make sure, you know, you're pulling on a slight angle just to try to keep it from ripping the bumper off. But once you pop these ones out, the first three are kind of a pain. After that, they get easier. This one comes out, this one comes out. And about here, about where the grill starts, you're going to have a hard time getting up and accessing these. Don't worry about it. Do all the way from that end there, all the way over here, until you get to about where you can't reach anymore. Stop, go to the other side, do all of those ones, all the way up until you can't reach those ones anymore. Once you have them off, come out from under the car, grab underneath here, the little grill area. I used inside of the exhaust tip plastic portion and just pull. Give it a slight tug while holding right here and it'll actually pull out. They pop right out pretty easy. You can see here, all of these clips look just fine. None of the clips are broken. All of these are in perfect shape. None of these are broken. None of them are bent. None of them are twisted. They pop right out. This plastic is quite malleable. It's quite soft. That's why they're rated to take a 5-mile-per-hour bump and not look like crap entirely. But they're pretty malleable. And pull it out. The whole thing comes out. If you're doing this process so that you can take your stupid exhaust tips out, please stop. This, although it is not hard, it is not worth taking this entire rear diffuser out, risking scratching the crap out of it, damaging it, dropping it, breaking clips, what have you. Not worth it. Don't do it. Find a hill that has, if you find a hill that has a little ditch in the bottom, you can literally park your car on it sideways like this and have all the room in the world to fit your head under there. I mean, this is on the ground right now, and it's barely aired up, and you can see you can fit one fat person underneath this. Not that bad. Up here, if you're trying to take your mufflers out so that you can get your stupid tips out, spray some soapy water on here, pop this hanger, a little silicone hanger, off the hooks, crawl up here. So, right where my finger is, the stock exhaust will have 2 flange nuts on them. They are 3/4 inch as far as I recall. There's literally 2 nuts here and 2 nuts on the other one. That's it. 4 nuts. They're not lock nuts. They're not cross nuts. They literally, you break them loose and you can take them off with your fingers. Crawl into the car. Take the 4 nuts off. Pull the exhaust off the hanger. You'll have to grab the mufflers and pull backwards. And then you can get it off the studs. And then it literally falls on the ground. You don't have to take the crossbar out. There's a little crossbar that goes between these two. You don't have to take that out. 4 nuts, 2 hangers, pull this back, and you're done. Then you have all the room in the world to take these tips out. Now the tips, mine are kind of shitholed right now. There's 2 screws up here. There's one here, and then there's 2 10mm bolts on the very bottom. You can see them right there, all blurry and shit. Take the 2 10mm bolts out. They slip right out, no problem. Put them back in. Put your exhaust hangers back on. You're good to go. Now, when I go to put this this bumper back on, some people say that it's easier to get your alignment right if this is off the car. We'll see about that. Some people say that you can't take this off without taking the bumper off. Some people say you can't switch the intercooler without the bumper. Some people say you can't switch these out without taking the bumper off, which is also false. So, when I go to do this, common sense tells me you need to align this part here. So, we'll put this in. This is my recommendation. You do you. I would align these 4 in these holes. There's a little bit of give, maybe an 1/8 inch plus or minus. Center that up between this groove here, then snap this in. And then you're going to need to work one side at a time. You can do both sides if you want to, but as long as you keep this gap here and this gap here safe, you're good. Once you get to here, you're going to have to probably pull it a little bit to get it to wrap around nice and smooth. Then realign your rivets. You're obviously going to have to take this out. Come on. You're going to have to take this out because it's a rivet. You can only use it once. Take it, drill it out, put a 1/4 bolt in there. It really doesn't matter all that much. I'm sure you could get by without putting it in there if you wanted to. It does act as a little bit of a structural support for this bumper flex. So just drill it out, pull it out, rip it out, do what you want. Just take it out, put something else in it. But it's very straightforward. Again, we'll go through this real quick. Crawl under the car, struggle to get that screw and that screw out on a slight angle with a flat head or a small Phillips. It'll be a little bit of a fight. It's only 7 turns to take the screw out. You'll get over it. Once you're done, take that rivet and the one on this side out. You cannot pop the clips out until then. And then start popping them out from that side. The first 3 are going to be a bastard. Use your thumb on the clip to push down and pull on at the same time. Pop it out. Pop it up and around here, working your way. When you get to the ones you can't reach anymore, come outside of the car and you can pull and it will pop these out. If you have to pull harder than picking up, let's say, a gallon of milk or 2 gallons of milk worth of weight, I'm talking like anything harder than moderate pull, it's not going to pop out. And you're either pulling it at the wrong angle or it's stuck. So if you put your hand here a little bit and pull on it, it should pop out pretty easy. It does not pull out with a lot of force. If you have to use a lot of force, you're going to break something. It's just take your time with it.